Hello everyone, welcome back to the Aquarian Alchemist Tarot. I'm Erin and I just want to wish you a happy Tuesday because it is Tuesday the 22nd of February 2022 when I'm filming this. I didn't realize that it would also fall into Tuesday. It's just such a crazy, I don't think it's a coincidence, but it's just crazy that all those twos collided. So in honor of today's portal, I thought I would do a little reading. So I've got these three decks, and what I thought I would do is I would shuffle and pull a affirmation card. These are I am affirmations that I've had for quite a long time. They're part of the Barr blend program that I did a few years back. This is the Starseed Oracle deck by Hay House, and this is the Divine Tarot deck, I believe it's called. And this is based on deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. Beautiful decks. So I thought I would start with the I am card, and then I thought everybody would pick a pile. I'd have three piles, and you would pick one of those, and then I would take cards from these for each pile. This is my first time doing this, so please bear with me. I hope that this goes well, but it's all about learning. So I'm going to just start. I'm going to move the other decks out of the way, and I'm going to start by shuffling this deck. Now there are a few cards within this deck where you can create your own adventure kind of card. So I have written down some things that I had hoped to manifest or to embody, and hopefully they are, I haven't looked at them lately, but hopefully they are applicable to you if they turn up. And I think that if they turn up, then they will be applicable. Otherwise, I don't think that they will. All right, these ones are a little bit more difficult to shuffle. Okay, so I'm going to place a card there. As you can see, there's a little bit of Sharpie on the back of this one because that's what I used to do my custom affirmations. Okay, so we're going to start by turning them over. And this one is I am positive. I think good thoughts and attract good things into my life. That's a really good one. Especially these days, it can seem to be a bit chaotic in the world. I am, here we go, here's a custom one, a light warrior. I shine as a beacon for those lost in darkness. This is a big one. I think that there are a lot of people who want to help and, like myself, don't always know how, don't always know the right way. Sometimes we need help ourselves, so I think that one's applicable. Hopefully you feel the same way. I am confident. I believe in myself and my abilities. And that's definitely important. I found there was quite a few years where I did not feel very confident, and I used a technique called tapping or EFT that really helped me to work through some of my insecurities, and I definitely feel like a more confident person, and like I can use my voice to speak up for myself. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. Those are the three piles. I'm just going to shuffle the oracle cards. And I'm going to pick an oracle card. Maybe I'll pick two oracle cards since that's kind of the theme today. Okay, so two cards for this one, two cards for this one, two cards for that one. And I'm going to wait to turn those over until we go through. And Okay, I'm also going to, I know a lot of videos that I watch associate a stone. These are stones that I have in my personal collection, and I apologize if I don't always know the exact stone type, because sometimes it can be a mix. This is one that I found on a walk. I've used a stone identifier, but I like to think of this one as Smokey quartz, but it could be something else. It was a really crazy find because it's quite a big piece, and I just found it on a walk. We went on train tracks, decommissioned train tracks. So that's going to be for the first pile. This is a piece of Milky quartz that we got at a mine nearby, sort of nearby our house last year when we were on vacation, and we did put it in our rock tumbler to smooth it out a little bit. So that will be the light warrior. I think that makes a lot of sense because it's such a, it looks like a kind of a bright white light. And this one I believe is, oh, I'm having trouble remembering the name. I said it the other, I think it's orange calcite. I believe that's what this one is. And we picked up quite a bit of this at the mines as well last year. So that's going to be for the confidence one. And they kind of, the colors kind of match a little bit. Okay, so I'm now going to go through and shuffle my tarot cards. I am very new to this deck. I literally got this deck the other day. I really loved the artwork when I was looking online for a few or for a new deck to add to my collection. I have two decks that are the traditional Rider-Waite tarot decks, and that's what I'm most familiar with, but I'm excited to kind of learn to interpret these cards in a similar way. All right, so I'm not exactly sure how many. I think I'm going to start with 5 tarot cards each. So I'm going to do 5 for this pile, 5 for this pile, and there will be timestamps, so you can skip to your pile. I'll figure out how to put the timestamps in. Okay, so pick your pile, and I will meet you at the timestamp. Hi, pile number 1. So you picked the I am positive card, and these are your cards. So let's start your reading. I'm just going to push this one up a little bit, make some space. Okay, so your 2 oracle cards. Oh, it is freezing rain outside. So you have the 7 Star Sisters, birthing creations, tapestry of life, and expression. Okay. I'm liking how everything is kind of flowing together. This is the one thing I love about divination, is that it just, you know, spirit, of course we ask for spirit to help us with this process. I'm just interpreting, but I just think it's really amazing how spirit just brings everything, you know, really into focus in such a beautiful way. The second oracle card is surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy. Oh, that's so synchronous. I was watching something, I got a past life reading a few days ago, and he mentioned Venus in it, and I looked up Venus, and I watched this video on YouTube about Venus as part of your zodiac, and it was very interesting. So that's funny that I see Venus again. Pleasure, joy, make love to life. Okay. So what I'm getting from these, I mean, we have the kind of the dark and the light, right? And if we think about positivity, positivity is a good thing. And I know that for many years, I really focused a lot on being positive. But when you ignore the negative, like we need polarity, it's part of life. Life is full of the opposites, dark and light, and good and bad, and we like and we don't like. And so if we think about it that way, it's important to be optimistic, to think good thoughts and attract good things, because when we think in the positive sense, that's what life will give us, right? And we have to really watch our speech, because if you say something that you don't want, what spirit hears is that you do want that, because spirit can't understand the not part. So if you're always saying, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be sick, all spirit hears or understands out of that is, I want to be sick. The don't part doesn't seem to register. And this is just what I've sort of come across over the years of looking into spiritual things. So of course I could be wrong, but if we think about it, we need to try to frame things in the positive. So I want to be well. I am well. I feel well. And I think that can really help us when we are in a hard spot to really shift our focus to what we want to be our reality, rather than focusing our energy on what we don't want to be our reality. So birthing creations, tapestry of life, and expression. So part of being positive is having the ability to express ourselves, like I just said. So being able to speak things into reality using a positive frame of mind. If we think about pleasure, joy, surrendering, this is also focusing on the positives of life rather than what's wrong in our life. If we focus on being grateful and being appreciative of the good things in our life, then more of those can come to us. Okay, so we're going to put out the tarot now. So we have strength. I want to be able to see all the cards. We have the Five of Swords. We have Justice. We have 10 of Coins. And we have the Queen of Wands. This one has come up a lot for me since I got this deck, actually. Okay, just make sure we can see those all. I'm just going to take a minute to have a look and see what kind of story Spirit's trying to tell us here with these cards. So I see strength, and if we think of positivity, a lot of times we have to go through dark times, hard times, dark night of the soul, and when we can be positive in the face of struggle, we can really see our strength. So I'm getting the sense that you may be going through something difficult in your life. I'm getting the sense that you may be going through something difficult in your life right now. And it may be difficult for you to see the positive side of things, because there's absolutely times in your life where you cannot see that light at the end of the tunnel. All you can see is darkness and shadows. So I'm getting the sense that you need to find something, and it can just be something very small, to be grateful for, to focus on when you're having these hard times. And that can help you to slowly elevate yourself out of the darkness, out of the struggle, out of the negativity that we all have. Negative thoughts that come into our mind when we're having a hard time, because it's all about our perception of things. When we can shift our perception to a more positive place, we can begin to see things from a different angle. So I'm getting the sense that you may be going through something difficult, something dark, but this can bring you even more strength. I find that often I have the most growth and quantum leaps after a hard time, because it pushes me to grow. It pushes me to seek knowledge, to seek spiritual connection. It pushes me to pray. So if you can find what would work for you to see the bright side of things, I think that would really help you. And if we look at the Five of Swords, this one also shows sadness, sorrow. It shows, demons that may be within, and that's really, if you really look at your situation, try to look at it as an observer if you can, even if it's just for a few minutes, and try to consider opposing perspectives. And I find that this is really helpful when you're having a hard time, when something happens in your life that is upsetting to you. At first, you're going to be upset, and it's okay to be upset. It's okay to acknowledge, right now I'm angry, right now I'm sad, right now I'm very upset. But as you start to move through those feelings, as you accept that that's what you're feeling at that moment, you begin to have the ability to consider the different scenarios, but only through presence, only through consciousness of those thoughts. So when the thoughts are coming into your head, be aware and listen to the thoughts and observe them as much as it's possible. Meditation really helps with developing this skill, I've found over the years, and beginning to see the scenario from other angles and perspectives can help you to bring yourself out of the darkness that you feel, because those emotions can be very overwhelming, and you may not know how to get to that place right away. But if you focus on how you're feeling and then moving to maybe something completely unrelated, try to focus on something that's good in your life, and then go back to it later when you're feeling a little bit calmer. Yeah, that's what I would say about this. And then we have justice, because if we think about it, there's nothing that happens in life without repercussions. So if something has been done to you, the person who has done it is likely in pain. Hurt people. And with karma, everything that we do has repercussions. Everything good that we do has a repercussion. Everything that we do that's bad to hurt other people has repercussions. So you don't need to be the person giving out the justice per se, and you may never know of the justice that is served to the person who hurt you. But when you hold on to anger and malice for another person, you're hurting yourself. So being able to not necessarily forgive what a person has done to you, if you could get to that point. I know there are people who have been able to forgive somebody who's hurt them, and violated them. And this really brings healing to that individual themselves. You forgive for yourself, because holding on to those negative emotion hurts you. The saying that, when you take poison hoping that the other person will die, it's like that. So with this card, I'm really getting the sense that justice will be served, but it's not up to you to serve it. And by focusing on yourself and your healing, you are actually doing yourself justice as well. If we're moving on here to the 10 of coins, this one's a bit different. I get the sense that you are somebody who is very close with family, that you are a person who is very giving, and does a lot for others. And you may not take the time to do things for yourself. You may not, you may work a little too hard, maybe a little bit of a martyr complex. I'm the same way. I have kids, and we do so much for other people, but sometimes it's to our own detriment. And you need to remember that doing for others, this is a reminder for everyone, all of us can really benefit. When we're doing stuff for others, we need to make sure that it's from a place of love, because if we're doing something for others out of a sense of obligation, or duty, we really sabotage the experience. It becomes a burden for us. We resent the other person, and it just really, again, it's hurting us, it's hurting them, it's hurting the relationship. So you really need to make sure that the time that you spend with people is very you're in the present moment, you're conscious, you're focused, and that that when you're doing things for others, that you're being very present with your intention behind it. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to help them? Are you doing it for you because you feel like you'll feel guilty if you don't do it? It's just, yeah, sometimes we do things, and sometimes it's just out of control or just out of habit. So really take time to assess what your intentions are behind doing certain things. Okay. The last card we have here is the Queen of Wands. This one to me is it's interesting how we get the flow of, we've got the themes too, with the mountains in the background. I noticed in this one that she looks super happy, but she's got this blazing volcano behind her. And she's just kind of, dancing and doing some sort of a ritual with her staff. And to me, this one signifies strength and beauty and power, but a power that is for others and for herself, and not to hurt or control others or to gain anything from it. And I get that sense from you, that you don't want to control others. You want everybody to be happy, but you need to be happy too. And I think I get that there's a sense that I'm getting, that you need to take a lot of time this year to find what makes you happy, to maybe forge a new path. Maybe there's something that you've been putting off that you want to work on. So I really suggest going for that. This is going to be the end. I know that in the future I want to do longer readings and add more cards in, but I think for the first one, this is going to be a little bit shorter. So thank you for allowing me to read for you. And if you feel compelled to watch the others, please do. And thank you, pile number 1. I'll see you in the next video. Hi, pile number 2. All right, let's get into your reading. So you chose the Light Warrior. I shine as a beacon for those lost in darkness. We definitely need more of you, let me tell you. All right, so I'm going to turn over your Starseed Oracle cards. The first one is the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Wow. Okay. We're starting this off. Oh, and I love that there's kind of like continuity with the colors. Okay, so the Great Severing. Wow, well, we're definitely going through some sort of a severing in our world right now. You chose also, sorry, I forgot to mention, you chose the Milky Quartz. Beautiful. And that is a very powerful, energetic conductor. You got the Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, Seed the Light by Staying Grounded. Wow. Okay, well, those two cards definitely speak to the card that you chose as a Light Warrior, because as Light Warriors, we are here to anchor the light, to bring, to shed light on the dark shadows, and don't get me wrong, we have darkness within us as well. This is the thing I read about humans in the book The Joshua Channelings, that humans have the unique capability to hold both light and dark energy simultaneously, and it's a constant kind of battle between both, but duality is part of the 3D reality and we have to live with it. So yeah, Light Warriors are here to, some of us are here to expose lies. There's a lot of deceit in our current world, the way that the world is structured, the way that the power works in our world, in our societies, some of the belief systems, things that we're taught from a young age. Some of the Light Warriors are here to wake up others, and that's done by, you wake up when you're under pressure. That's why these dark times that we're going through are part of the awakening. They crack us open and they wake us up to the ultimate nature of reality. They wake us up to our power. So it's very, very important. Mars energy, it's interesting that that comes up because I have been hearing and reading a lot about Mars. I heard the other day about a Russian boy who was born in the 90s. He claimed to have lived a previous life on Mars. Very interesting. I couldn't find the original video footage of his interviews. Who knows why? But anyway, I thought that was very interesting. So we have anger and conflict. That's definitely something going on right now, and that could be on a microcosm, so something in your life that you're going through personally, or if we look at the grander scale, humanity in general. We're having a lot of anger, a lot of triggering, very polarizing opinions and beliefs and right and left, and it's very black and white right now, just in the sense of, the yin and yang. When they're balanced, everything is great. But if one gets off kilter, then we have problems. We have conflict. We've got various threats going on in our world. So softening to love. I think in the end, we've got love and fear. And the only thing that fear cannot handle is love. So when we're upset, there's things that will come up that will upset you. Come back to love every single time. And it's so hard to do, but it's super important that every time you're upset with somebody, bless them. Use the use the, trying to think of what it's called. It's a meditation technique that I learned. It's may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be at peace. And I've been using that for years. Every person I see on the street, whether I know them or not, I try to always, in my mind, bless them. So I think that this card, yes, absolutely makes sense. Star Keeper. So yes, you are one of the keepers of the light. You're probably, yes, cosmic ancestor. So you have connection to your ancestors, to source, to spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, but, or you want to call that infinite intelligence, but you have probably lived multiple lives. Maybe you remember them, maybe you don't. Most humans come here agreeing not to, from what I have learned over the years. And you seed the light by staying grounded. And I think that this is very important part of the spiritual path and spiritual journey. You can feel very ungrounded if you stay in your upper, you focus too much in your upper chakras. So it's important to balance them all. It's important to practice grounding. So imagining your, sit on a bed or a chair, put your feet on the floor, imagine roots coming out of your feet, imagine them traveling down through the floor of your house, through your basement, into the ground, all the way to the center of the earth, wrapping around something down there, and just really holding on and rooting. You can find meditation videos that help with this. Really important to stay grounded. All right, let's go through the cards. I think I took from the top of the pile. So we've got 8 of Wands. Wow, it's beautiful. Okay. We have 10 of Wands. That is amazing. Love the colors and the artistry in this deck. It's beautiful. We have Death. We have 9 of Swords. And we have the Hermit. Oh my God, so many of these cards have spoken to me. Okay. So what I'm getting here is that you're ready to set things ablaze. You know that you have a purpose. You're not necessarily sure what the purpose is, but you are ready to fly. Like you may be already sure of your purpose, or you may be uncertain. I get the sense with this card that you're pretty sure, like you got the light, you chose the light warrior card, like you're good to go, like you're figuring it out, and you're ready to kind of set your life on fire, like your former life of just, getting up, working 9 to 5, doing your, like being a good little citizen. You're kind of over that. You're ready to you're ready to help the world to wake up. Like you don't want to be alone anymore. Like sometimes you can feel very alone on this path, like you're an alien and you don't want to be alone anymore. You're ready to find your tribe. You're ready to wake people up. You're ready to start like getting shit done, so to speak. So that's the message I get there. And you're ready to fly above, it looks like, you're dodging all the things that are coming your way. You know that there's going to be obstacles, but you're finding a way to fly through that. Your agility has really increased as your confidence has increased, as your mission becomes more clear. So I think you're on the right track. What I get with this one is you're ready to sever. Like if this skull represents the life that you had before, even your ego, that you are ready to just like let something beautiful grow out of that. And you can see the roots are growing downwards towards Mother Earth, and they're also growing upwards towards the light, towards the great central sun, towards the heavens, so to speak. And just such a beautiful picture. And 10 is, you know, you've got these beautiful flowers in the background, and so you're ready to, you know, create something new and beautiful and almost multiply what you had before, so that it's magnified. It's even better than you could have ever, you know, you couldn't just be satisfied with this. You had to expand, you had to grow. There was no other option, really. Like once you woke up, you had to continue with that path. You couldn't go back to sleep. It's not possible. And with the death, we see the similar theme with the, and I get the feeling that with this, you know, it looks so large and ominous and scary, but if you look behind the curtain, you realize, like, you know, it's actually just a lot smaller and less threatening than you thought. And the death card is not doesn't mean you're going to die. It could be the death of your ego, it could be the death of your old life, it could be the death of relationships. So you have come to a crossroads, and potentially are ready to make peace with your fear. Perhaps maybe it's the death of your fears. You're ready to confront your demons and integrate them. And I heard an interesting thing once, where it was said that you could imagine integrating all aspects of yourself, the good and the bad, as each aspect, like, you know, your anger and your sadness and your, let's say, your deceit and your happiness, and everyone is you sitting at a table together and eating a meal, and just everything is welcome and accepted and loved. And, you know, obviously denying parts of ourselves is not helping us. We don't want to do bad things, but sometimes, despite our best efforts, we still have unresolved traumas within us that, if not brought to the light, they can continue to create patterns in our life that are not healthy or helpful. Okay, the 9 of Swords. So this one, when I saw this one, instantly I thought, this is, you know, you've come through these stages, and you're now feeling like, you know, not above the world, but like you're not falling for the tricks anymore. You're not falling for the lies. You're not asleep anymore. You're awake, but other people may be mourning your the loss of the old you. And that's what I got from this one. It's like you've kind of changed, and they're not there yet. And that can be very isolating, and it can be hard, and it can sometimes feel like you almost want to go back and just go back to the ignorance is bliss kind of, like, especially when your eyes are really open to you know, the darkness of the world, and you nobody believes you. They think you're crazy. You really want to go back and just, you know, be normal again, in a way, or be like the way they were. But, you know, they will eventually, I mean, everybody's on their own path, so they may never be where you are. Eventually everybody will get there, but it may not be in this lifetime. It may, you know, it may take a while. It may not take long at all. You just have to be patient and trust that they will wake up in their own time, and you can be part of that. But there's also, you know, the fact that some people, you're not the one to wake them up. So that can be difficult to accept, that maybe you're not the one that's going to wake them up, but somebody will. And with this one, I got the sense that, you know, it's a path that can be lonely. You may have to, you may have to walk it alone. But that is what you signed up for, what you came here to do. And with time and with asking Spirit for help, you will find your tribe. You don't necessarily have to do it all by yourself. There are other people out there, other light warriors, other earth angels, other people on the path of service to others, and you will find them. But also there's connection to other beings. There's spirit guides that maybe you need to develop that connection as well. And that's a very personal thing, but maybe that's something to look into, or having a connection with an animal in your life. So be on the lookout for different signs that your spirit guides are trying to work with you, contact you, help you, and you can ask them for help. You know, it can be very simple. Just, spirit guides, I would like to connect with you. I could use your help. So that is your beautiful reading. This is a really good one. I felt very connected. I think this would have been the pile that I would have chosen. And pile number 2, thank you so much. I wish you all the best, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 3. So you chose, I am confident. I believe in myself and my abilities. So either you're in a place where you are feeling more confident and things are starting to align for you in your life, or perhaps you're not feeling so confident, and this is something that you will be coming into very soon in your life, and maybe you just need a little bit more guidance as to how the action that may need to be taken to get there. So let's get your cards and see what information Spirit has for us. So I'm doing these Starseed Oracle cards. So the first one is the Sea of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Very nice. Again, the colors are similar and lining up. We've got we've got water, we've got mountains, we've got clouds. Beautiful. The second one, ooh, Star Ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. Okay, so what I'm getting so far with these cards in conjunction with your I am card is, okay, so bringing unconsciousness to light. So there may be some stuff from your past, could be past traumas, you know, things that happened in high school, things that happened when you were a kid, things that you may have forgotten about, but they're still in your subconscious, right? In our unconscious mind. If you're having a dream that's recurring, you know, it could be unconscious fears. It could be, you know, a lot of unconscious fears are a fear of abandonment, a fear of not being enough, a fear of being too much, a fear of, trying to think of some of the other ones that I've come across. So what I really think that this is trying to tell you is you need to start digging a little bit deeper into your subconscious and figuring out how you tick. And one of the ways you can do this is through meditation. I know meditation for some people is boring, or, you know, they don't know how to do it. And I didn't like it either until I found this one. It was the 10% Happier podcast, or it was the app, and the meditation teacher was Joseph Goldstein. You can find him on YouTube. And he said a few things in that you're really just you're not trying to stop thinking. I mean, eventually you may be able to achieve that where you can turn your thoughts off. But what you're doing is your mind is going to get on a train of thought. And you're just, when you notice, you bring it back. and then it gets on again. And when you notice, you bring it back, and you just focus on your breath, or focus on the feeling of sitting on the surface that you're sitting on. And that really kind of helped me to realize what I was trying to achieve with meditation. And over time, I always used a program. I didn't tend to sit in quiet, but it is helpful, and it will help you to begin to find those little traumas, big traumas, unconscious fears, unconscious beliefs that are holding you back. So bringing the light to that and seeing the potential that you have, because I get the sense that you have so much potential, but that it's just yet unfulfilled. You will get there, but you need to do the work. So star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look deeper. So they're telling you, like, go inside. It's the last place a lot of us want to go, but you need to go inside. You need to pay attention to what you're thinking, how you're feeling, the stories you're telling yourself about what you're thinking or situations that are happening outside you, and begin to cultivate that focus and attention. And this is going to take time, and this is going to take effort, and I don't think we're ever really done. It's about the journey, not the destination, so they say. But that is our starting point. You need to look within. You need to start to focus on you, and it's not about being perfect. It's just about knowing yourself better, because when you know yourself better, you can begin to be in control of your emotions. It's not to say you shouldn't feel your emotions. You should feel your emotions, but you don't want to let your emotions get the better of you, and you can definitely learn to harness that energy within you. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So we've got the World, the beautiful card there. Two of Coins. Knight of Cups. Five of Wands. And the King of Cups. Okay, let's see what we can decipher from this. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. I get the sense that with this card, that you are a sensual person, but you have often looked to other people to validate you, your looks, whether it be your looks or your intelligence or how you're doing in life. So you've really sought pleasure, which is part of life, and we want to enjoy life, but you tend to look in to find yourself in other people. And this is very common. This is something that we all do. And if we really think about it, though, like the world, like we are each a piece of the world. Like if we think of it, like if we think of God as everything, or God as the ocean, we are all drops of water out of the ocean, right? So when you're looking outside, everything that you're seeing outside of you is a mirror, right? So it's reflecting back to you what you think about yourself or how you feel about yourself. So if you're having trouble in life, if you're constantly encountering adversity, you may want to examine some of the things that you're thinking and really take inventory of the types of thoughts that come up. So, for example, if you're struggling with weight, what are you thinking about your weight? What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, I'm fat? Are you telling yourself, oh, I shouldn't eat that because I'm going to gain weight? Are you criticizing yourself when you eat something that you think you shouldn't? Are you eating to fulfill a need or an unmet need, or to escape from an emotion? A lot of times we eat because we're bored, because we feel sad, because we feel out of control about another aspect of our life, and not necessarily because we're hungry. So whatever it is that's happening in your life that feels upsetting to you or is not desirable, pay attention to those thoughts and maybe just focus on one thing at a time. So if it's the weight thing, pay attention to any thought that has to do with your body, and begin to, once you've identified those thoughts, begin to replace those thoughts with something kinder. So for a while, I had a lot of overwhelm with life, busy being a mom, working full time. And I noticed I was constantly telling myself, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. And so that's all I ever felt, was rushed and busy and anxious. So I began telling myself I have enough time for all the things I need and want to do. It's very specific. So every time I had that thought, I don't have time, or I'm overwhelmed, or something along those lines, I would tell myself that. And I do feel like it has helped me to relax more, to get into a better routine, it just feels like I have more time, even though maybe I'm just using that time better. But either way, it has had a good result. So I recommend doing that. Yeah, so this one looks like maybe you have some sort of a burden, or something that you perceive as a burden in your life, something that feels hard, something that feels like it's weighing on you. And it could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a routine that's not working. And I think one of the things that's important to remember is flexibility. Be open to change things up. So if you have a routine, like a workout routine, that's you're not getting to, let's say you have set yourself time to work out in the morning, but you keep hitting snooze, well, maybe do an afternoon workout instead. Maybe do an evening workout. Be flexible and open. When you feel like you have energy, do a workout. As for relationships, really take stock in how you are participating in that relationship and how you might do things differently. Sometimes we get into these patterns of reaction to certain triggers, and maybe try to identify a common trigger. And if you notice a pattern, try changing that reaction to a response that is more loving, or even just slightly different than how you would normally react, and see what happens. So yeah, I think that's a good one there. Knight of Cups. So I get the sense that maybe you're waiting for something. You're waiting for something to change. I get the sense of either inaction, because you're not sure what to do, or it could be patience, which is good. I get the sense of patience from this card, waiting patiently for the right moment. And yes, it is important to go with the flow and go with the flow of life rather than trying to paddle upstream, much harder. But that if you're in a pattern of procrastination, which we all do, or inaction, to try to figure out why. Try to ask yourself some questions, but I get the sense that you may feel stuck. And it could just be something that is part of your journey, and that you just need to, like, when the right time comes, you'll know. I kind of had a similar situation. I wanted to start this channel so much, and but I just, for some reason, kept putting it off. It was never the right time. I wasn't ready. I didn't think I could do it. And then something happened, and like a situation happened that I was very upset by. And it really spurred me into action to start the channel. So sometimes we need those hard pushes from the universe, with regards to situations in our life, to really get the ball rolling and get things moving and push us in the like we get shoved in the direction we need to go. So you may be at a crossroads where you're not sure which direction to go, but I get the sense that that push may be coming for you soon. And if you are just being patient and waiting, just remember that patience is great. But you can't, there can be no manifestation without action. There has to be some action. So it's great to, dream up the life you want and do a vision board. But if you're not actually taking any steps in that direction, it may be quite a long time coming. So I have learned that as well along my journey. All right, 5 of Wands. So we have this, obviously appears to be conflict. This guy kind of seems like he might be having fun. But of course you're going to encounter, maybe you have a fear of failure. You want to do something, you want to maybe leave your job and go along a different path. But you have fears of what could go wrong. There's always things that could go wrong along the way. What adversity you might meet, what people will think of you, all sorts of different worries that can come up when you decide that you want to start something new. But I think that these fears are just that. They're just thoughts. They're just, fears hold us back. And it is important to be cautious when diving into when going into something new. You don't necessarily just want to dive in without thinking about it, without planning it, without considering it. But once that's done, it is important to just take that last little leap, that leap of faith into the new endeavor. And you will encounter struggles. That's, failing is part of succeeding. If we don't try, you fail 100% of the times you don't try. Is that how the saying goes? Yeah. So it's very important. I can think of one story I always tell personally. I was learning to drive when I was pregnant with my first daughter, learning to drive a standard, and my husband was teaching me, and it wasn't going well. I couldn't understand the clutch and shift and gas. And it was getting very frustrating. I was feeling very upset, and he was feeling frustrated. So I had a friend who knew how to drive take me out, and she something that she said just really made sense. We practiced it a few times. I got it, and then once it's stuck, and I got better and better. So, you're not always going to you're not always going to be an expert at something when you're first starting. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes effort, and that's how people get good at things. They keep coming back, doing it over and over again. Sometimes we give up because it's not for us, and that's fine too, but you have to know, I guess, when it's time to quit and when it's time to get back up and try again. So I have the last card here for you, the King of Cups. And for me, this one kind of strikes me as like, at the end of each level in a video game, there's always a bad guy, right? There's always a boss that you have to fight. And I think that at the end of the day, that's always you. You're always fighting yourself as your worst critic, and you need to be your biggest cheerleader. That's a journey in itself to get to that point where you can be your biggest cheerleader. But sometimes, like, I had another card where it was a big scary shadow of a skeleton on one side, and as she pulled back the curtain, there was just a small man behind the curtain, but it just looks so threatening. And I think it can be the same thing. Like, sometimes these things we want to do seem insurmountable, like a tall mountain that we think we'll never be able to climb. And then step by step, if you take those steps in that direction, you will get there. And there may be dragons along the way. There may be demons to slay along the way. But if you just remember that there's nothing to fear except fear itself, and that by loving yourself through those growing processes that we have, you will eventually get to your destination, and you will eventually succeed. But giving up is not an option if you want to reach that summit. So that is your reading pile number 3. Thank you so much for joining me for this Tuesday reading, and I wish you all the best, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.